things that I did want to hit right off the bat, and maybe it'll kind of steer us in a direction, is kind of a message to recruiters, because I know recently we've kind of done messages to candidates, recruits, and then we've talked to parents specifically, but then like we haven't really talked to recruiters, and we've got a decent relationship with recruiters, I think, at least some of the ones that we've worked with personally. But some of the feedback we've gotten is some of the recruiters might be a little upset with us because we did an episode, I think it was the IFT, OFT, CFT episode, that am I not supposed to mention this, Trent?
No, I was just, I'm being sarcastic.
Trent looks like he's being held hostage. It looks like somebody just walked in the room and Trent's trying to tell us with his eyes that he's in danger, but he doesn't know how to do it.
SOS.
How do I blink SOS out?
He's trying to blink it out.
So some of the feedback was that some recruiters were upset with us about the IFT, CFT, OFT episode, where we said, hey, don't go in unless you're at these standards, or these are what you need to strive for, and that kind of stuff. Because they had recruits that were saying, like, oh, I'm not where I feel like I need to be, so I want to delay, 3 months, which I can appreciate the challenges for the recruiters and the frustration for the recruiters. But at the same time, like, you got to see it from the recruits, or the candidates' perspective, is that they are going in to get their asses kicked really, really bad. And if they're not prepared, they're just going to, fail out or quit or whatever. And then they're going to the needs of the Air Force, or they are losing control of where they get to go. So to the recruiters, like, put yourself in their shoes. I get it. You probably are dealing with some folks that are, not wanting to get off the sideline, or they're hemming and hawing, or you can tell that they're kind of wasting your time. But I don't know. I don't know how to navigate that. I just use your best judgment. Don't be upset at us or the candidate if they want to make sure that they are 100% prepared to go in. That's just my 2 cents.
I like this. Trent, why don't you take the side where you yell at the students? Now that Peaches is we found out who the cone sympathizer muted, is.
Oh, and it looked like such a good rant too. He was like smiling a little bit, and he was like saying the only important thing that we were going to say this whole podcast, and he was muted.
Yeah, and it's destroyed now. What do you got on it, Trent?
Well, so I understand that much like everything else in the Air Force, recruiting was not built to be efficient for our community. So like it's a numbers game for them. So like these recruiters have, their entire chain of command coming down on them saying we have to hit these numbers, and recruiting is a very numbers driven, game or mission or whatever. It's just that when it comes to what we do, the things that dictate or navigate or whatever, or I'm not good at words today. Like the ASVAB, right? The ASVAB will say, like, most of these people will be successful in this career field because it's very academic. A lot of the Air Force AFSCs are very academic, and the physical stuff it is what it is, but it's not that difficult. Whereas we don't have those, like, same things. It takes a whole lot more. It's about the person. It's about the physicality. It's also about the ASVAB and who they are as a person. So when these recruiters are out there and some kid comes up to them and says, hey, like, one's already said I shouldn't ship until I get these numbers. And this recruiter's trying to get the right numbers in the door. And it's not that recruiter. It's the 18 people above them being like, hey, we got to ship this many people this month, or else we're not going to make goal. It's a lot of pressure. So I think probably the recruiters are probably doing a great job and holding off as best they can, the majority of them, to make sure that we get the best people possible. But it's a big machine, and it's hungry all the time. And I've been thinking about this a lot, and I really don't have any great solutions.
Can you hear me now? Is now a thing?
You back
up? Muted again?
Okay, man.
That's unfortunate. That's because I know that he's going to come in with something hot.
I do have something hot too.
Oh, no. Still nothing, bro.
But so to the numbers point, right? And really the folks that are above them, it's tough. They're in a weird situation. They really are, because they're almost getting pulled in multiple different directions. And then, we talked about it. I don't think this episode is appeared yet, but the parents that go into the recruiter's office, like, so they're getting pulled in multiple different directions, but ultimately,
Check.
Yep. Gotcha. What do you got on it, Aaron?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Finish your thought, Peaches. Jeez, I'm an idiot.
Please tell me it was just a simple switch.
It was. I've been having such problems. Like I couldn't even make last week's thing because I'm doing like all these things. So now it's just like the bad feelings of last time just failing and not being able to get on. Like those are in the back of my head. I'm like, that's it. I screwed it up. Now I have to turn my camera off, and now the comments are going to be even more mean than they normally are.
So what do you got on the recruiters?
Well, I'm glad that we went in the way that we did, right? Like, I understand the recruiter's problem. I understand the recruiter doesn't want people, they have a timeline, they have, goals that they have to meet. And, we all have bosses and we all have, target numbers and we all have these things. So I understand their frustration when they come back and they go, hey, you guys did an episode. And now everybody's like, well, I got to wait until I hit these numbers, and these numbers are arbitrary and they're already meeting the minimums. Man, I'm sensitive to it. I get it. And I'm glad that Trent kind of had the middle ground here where he's like, I think that there's a lot of competing interest, because I'm going to take the way other side of it, and I'm going to be mad at the candidates too. Y'all, we have told you a million times, you're not going to feel ready, right? It's easy to be the stud in the development program. In your little fishbowl, it's easy to be the guy that everybody's looking at, or the girl that's looking at and is like, oh man, this guy's crushing it. He's going to kill everything. And you're going to every development session and you're walking out of there and people are asking you, like, how are you training and how are you eating and what things are you doing? That's comfortable. It's comfortable being in your little development program, working with your recruiter. It's easy to go, I don't know, give me like a couple more months. I'm a couple push-ups away from 75. I'm going to wait until I get in. Come on, guys. There's a middle ground here where you're tracking, you're doing well, you're having good gains, you're above your peers, you're ready, you feel like you were at least on the right path. It's not a reason to hit the pause button for 6 months because you're like, oh, well, this one number, they said they wanted us to run a 930 and I'm running a 945. So nope, I can't ship in a month. I gotta pump the brakes. Come on, guys. A lot of this is unknown. You're stepping off into that, into that unknown or into that uncertain environment, and you're going to test yourself at A&S. You're not going to be ready. It's like having kids or getting married or buying a new house. If you wait till you're ready, you're not doing any of that stuff because you're never ready to do that. You're never ready to go to A&S. You're never ready to go to Indoc. And of all people, I understand what it is like to go to that course and fail and have to deal with those internal struggles, that hit to your ego for years, guys. Like, I understand. I went, I sucked, I failed. I don't know what that is in Latin, but it ain't Veni Vidi Vici. So, I had to deal with that with who I am for 4 years before I got back to it's scary as shit. Like, I get it, but you got to go. Like, we don't have people that get scared and get paralyzed. We have people that get scared and then they get after what they're supposed to go do, because that's what you do. Like, you have to do that. So I think there's a good middle ground. You can two things can be true at the same time. We can agree that the recruiters have an impossible job and they're trying to get you just to get to that standard and get you out the door because we need you in the pipeline. You do no good to us if you're not in the pipeline, right? I get it. But also, get your ass in gear. Realize that there's differences between requirements and expectations. There's good, better, best. Be a grown-up. You're not going to be perfect. They're not going to... No recruiter is going to come to your development session and go, you know what, this guy, he doesn't even need to do A&S. Let's just get him into some of the cooler schools of the pipeline. Like, you're still going to A&S, homie. You're still going to Joint Base San Antonio, Chapman Annex, and you're still going to go, we're going to see what's what. You know what I mean? So figure it out, everybody. Recruiters, sorry for the episode. We respect you guys as professionals. All you candidates, figure it out. I'm not going to yell at recruiters. They're all friends and colleagues and stuff.
No, and don't get
even
me wrong.
for the
I'm
podcast, I'm not going to pretend.
Yeah, I'm not fussing at recruiters. I'm just saying, hey, they were a little upset with us. Was the word on the street that we got? Through some messages and also through official channels, believe it or not. And
right.
Like, so, I just want to throw it out there. Nobody's mad at you. Like,
RB.
And, that's the unfortunate part of where we're at, is that we say something and then, well, two things.
And the unfortunate part is people listen. That's the unfortunate part.
I know. And like, the worst part about it is that, all three of us are still active duty, still senior NCOs, right? So that we've got that. So people listen, and then the podcast, now we've got a platform, and it's like, oh boy, double whammy. You guys are messed up for even listening to us, because if you've watched this long enough, you realize that we're actually idiots, and we're just, dealing with imposter syndrome and, just trying to make it happen.
Constantly, every single day. I do